On this channel before, I've looked into a method of horse trading. Now, don't worry, this video isn't about horse trading, but it kind of fits a similar pattern. So the video I looked at before was the laying the field strategy. So if I come over to Betfair here, what the laying the field strategy is it's just a way of kind of locking in a profit depending on the price of the horses. So what you'd do is you'd lay all and you'd put in a price of anything below 2.0. So you'd go for at the lowest 1.9, but you could go a bit lower and go to even 1.2, and you put this on for every single horse. And then you do a joint liability of, let's say, £50. And once that's all put in there, you can see that if this was to get matched on every single horse, you'd get a profit of £1,166, but that's obviously not going to happen. What you get your profit from here is when more than one horse gets matched. So if you look here, as we remove horses, you can see the profit slowly starts to decrease, but we still have a profit. So even if 4 got matched, we'd have a profit. Even if 3 got matched, we'd have a profit. If 2 got matched, we'd have a huge profit. If only 1 got matched, we would have a loss on that horse. Now, the thing that came to mind about this was it doesn't happen very often unless it's a really long stretched out race and it's 2 points you have a favourite that is 2 separate horses and 2 separate riders. That doesn't happen too often. But when I was looking at this strategy, the one thing that crossed my mind was it does happen in tennis. In tennis, you constantly have a switching of the favourites and you only need to get 2 horses matched. And there are 2 people in tennis. So if we come over to tennis instead, and for example, is there any going on at the moment? There is 2 going on at the moment, so let's just pick this one. If you were to come over, lay all, go down at them odds of 1.2, or if you weren't feeling too comfortable, bump it to 1.5, put your liability in of, let's just say, £50 again, and then you can see if these 2 get matched at that 1.5, you're going to get a guaranteed double your profit, obviously once commission's been taken off. That is what it's like at 1.5. If we bump it to 1.75, if you're still not confident the odds will drop that low for 2 people, change our liability back down to 50 and you can see you get £16.33 profit. Still not confident? You can even boost it to 1.9. Obviously, the higher you boost it, the less profit you're going to make. So if we do that, put it in at 50 again, you can see we're just going to make the £5 there, but that £5 is still 10% profit. And the thing is, when I've been doing my research on this strategy, the amount of times you actually get 2 separate favourites throughout tennis is huge. So if we just take a look here at Hugo, what's the lowest price he's been at? 1.23 is the lowest he's been at today. And then let's go look at Vucic. Lowest he's been at 1.25. So if we wanted to, in this match, we could have been matched at pretty comfortably 1.3 for both of these. Doing the £50 liability again would have got £114 worth of profit. I haven't done a huge extensive amount of research on this. I haven't tried this on loads of games yet or anything like that. I've tried it on one live example and I've got a few screenshots of whenever I've just come and checked. I didn't know this match would have applied to this strategy. I didn't know it would have worked. I just clicked on a random one. If we go back and look at the other tennis game that's going on, that is still within the first set. What's the lowest they've both been traded at? 1.52 and 1.01 or 1.04 I should say. So there again, that one would probably get us in at 1.7 if we'd have wanted it. It's just all about what you're willing to risk. I think the only key aspects of this are you need an evenly matched tennis match. You either need something that's really evenly matched or you need to keep an eye on a tennis match, see when the underdog gets at a really low price and get them laid and then hope the favourite gets back into it. We've done a similar strategy before on the channel where we laid the underdog as they took the lead. So at that point they were the favourite, but in reality they were still the underdog, if you get what I mean. But I think this strategy, I don't know, it does seem to hit quite a few times. I've got some screenshots from the other day as well, if I just get these up. So we've got this one here where you can see that individual was down at a low of 1.58. The next one at 1.14. So again, that one would have hit at 1.6 or above. You've then got Just some example there, if we'd have gone in at that 1.75, which definitely would have hit on this one, even with just a liability of the £10, we would have extracted a profit of £3.27, which may not seem like a lot, but that is over the 10% that you'd normally be aiming for in some trades. It's also quite nice because it doesn't take too much effort to set these trades up. You can lay the match before it started, come back and check on it midway through, maybe cash out for a less of a loss if it's looking unlikely that you're going to get matched. But if we just keep looking through some of these examples that I've got, we've got this one here, a low of 1.72 and a low on the other guy of 1.36. So that one wouldn't have hit the lower layers of anything under that 1.76, but a 1.8 or above would have done with that one. And you can see there, I went in with the 1.9 just to show you the example. 1.9 at the £10 liability would have got us around 98 pence back. So it looks like even if you're only getting that 1.9, you're still getting 10% stake back, which is a really handy return. We then have me trying the strategy out myself. I decided to try it on the Australian Open final between Nadal and Medvedev. Now, I didn't want to go into this with too much of a risk, too much of a liability, so I went in with £5. And the beautiful thing here is, although you are laying on two separate occasions, and in reality here my liability is £10 because I've got two stakes of 5, you're never going to lose more than that £5, because as soon as the second one gets matched, you've got yourself that guaranteed locked in profit. So you never have to worry about that. You always know exactly how much you'll lose if it doesn't get matched, and exactly how much you'll win if it does. So you can see here I went in for quite a low odds of 1.5. I thought there would be quite a big swing in between these games, so I thought I'd go in at that 1.5. And you can see at 1.5 with my £5 liability, I'd get around that £5 back if both of them were to get matched. Coming into the game then, you can see at around the third set, I believe it was, just as Medvedev looked as though he was going to come home with the trophy, you can see that the lowest for Nadal was 2.42, which is why you can see he hadn't been matched for me. So I did what looked to be kind of a smart move at the time. It was, apologies, we were getting in the fourth set just after Nadal had won one back. But at the time, you can see it looked as if Medvedev was about to break Nadal's service and get way back in front again. But I went in with £5 liability in this trade. I left the trade with a loss of £1.63. Didn't lose my whole liability. Managed to get out quite nicely there with only around about a 33% loss, which is quite nice considering if you hit this multiple times at that 1.5, you're going to be getting your 100% back. So only getting a 33% loss if you're watching the game can be quite a nice little return. Obviously, for those of you who will have traded on this, and I assume if you're watching the video about tennis trading, you probably did some trading yourself on the final. You know that Nadal did get back into this. Nadal eventually went on to win the match. So if I'd have kept my stake in here, we would have saw a profit. You can see that he went down to 1.8 here, even just one set on. And you can see there he got to a low point of 1.53. And then if we keep looking later on, you can see Nadal got down to a low point of 1.03. Medvedev was also a low point of 1.03. I am never saying that you're going to get that close of a set of odds ever, but that can happen. It was just because Medvedev was this close to winning and then didn't. And then Nadal obviously won, so he's going to be at the low odds. But if you somehow managed to anticipate that and went in at even 1.05 odds with even just a £10 liability, you can see the profit that would have been made. Now, I am not saying this will come in often. It will not come in often at all. But if it ever does, you could see some serious profit. The thing about this strategy is, it's up to you how much you want to risk. You can put in before the match your predetermined risk to reward. You can go in at the 1.05 and potentially hugely increase your profit. Or if you don't want to risk as much, you can go in at 1.9. And a 1.9 is going to hit a lot in tennis, but it's not going to get you that much profit, and it's not going to be worth it long term if you get a few losses in a row. So it's completely up to you what strategy you adapt this to be. whether you go in with just matches where there's a clear favourite and wait for the underdog to hopefully take the lead, and then lay both of them at that time at the price of the underdog, and then hope the favourite gets back into it, whether you hold out and hope someone goes right on the cusp of winning, but you know the opponent's better and you manage to get the lay at 1.05, it's completely up to you. Personally, I am going to try this strategy out a lot. I think it has some real potential to get some consistent profits, and it's not too intense either. It's quite a nice, simple strategy. So, as always with these, what I'm going to do is make a note of the next few tennis matches. It's not going to be in this video. It might not be in its own video either. It might just be in my monthly finance roundup videos. But what I'm literally going to do is, for one whole week, I don't know if it'll be this week, next week, the weeks after, I'm going to make note of every single tennis match and every single odds that are available. And we're going to see just how many times this strategy hits and how many times this strategy is profitable. So if it sounds like a video you'd actually want to see as a standalone video, please do let me know. I know this video itself hasn't been going on too long, but there's really not much else to show you with this strategy. It is that simple. You get in, you lay the odds, and you wait for them to get matched. It's not going to happen every time, as always. If it happened every time, everyone will be doing it. But if you can do a little bit of research, find out who the favourites are, find out who the underdog is, see who's normally good at competing against each other and other things like that, then you are going to be able to extract some key amount of profit from this strategy. And I'd recommend that everyone gives it a go. If you've got any recommendations about this in the comments, if you think it's actually not a good strategy long term, please also do let me know and try and prove me wrong. I'm all ears when it comes to it. But just hit the subscribe button while you're down there. Leave as many comments as you like and hit the like button too, because it does help. But please also do let me know if that video is something you'd be interested in. Seeing how often this does strike over the course of a whole week and maybe a couple hundred tennis matches. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.